Hello, Pisces Sun, Gemini Rising. It is time for your year ahead reading. Let's start off with a little bit of astrology first, just to get things started. With that Gemini Rising, Gemini is a mutable air element. They like to talk, they like to chat, they can be very sociable. They can also be a little bit irritating to people as they change their mind frequently, or their opinions, I should say, frequently. And maybe it's not necessarily that they're changing their opinions, but they like to debate. They like to hash things out verbally, communicate about it, talk it over. So they are not afraid to take the other side of an argument just to debate the issue, just to talk about it. And it could be by doing that, that just gives them a much broader worldview, and they have much more insight into different topics because they like to talk. They'll ask questions. They want to learn. That curiosity is there. Sometimes people can think they're two-faced a little bit, but they are not. They're just curious and they're mutable. So as they evolve, their opinions change and the things that they like to talk about change. They are always growing, in my opinion, anyway. Now, with that Gemini rising, that means your sun is most likely in the 10th house, the house of reputation, your career. This is with Pisces there, which is a mutable water sign. So, emotions and intuition with that. The thing that you most care about when it comes to your reputation may be about how people were impacted or how people feel about how you interacted with them. The fact that you made them feel much better about a situation, or that you influenced a room and calmed things down. You calmed all the high emotions down. So you may be interested in, or maybe seem to always end up in a place where maybe you're doing a little bit of counseling, or you're helping people talk through emotional subjects or things that have happened to them that may make them emotional or trigger them in some way. You are the influencer in that way, or at least you have a reputation somehow of always knowing the exact right thing to say to make somebody laugh, to make somebody cry, to make somebody feel better about things. In some way involved with emotions and helping people understand themselves and their own emotions much more clearly. And in part, this is because you're not fixed on it being any one thing. You don't make assumptions about what somebody's experience is. You're open to whatever it is, and you're open to hear it and to listen to it, and maybe even transmuting a lot of that energy and turning it into something that is more positive and something they can work with rather than something that is stagnant and keeping them stuck. So, like Reiki energy or something like that. Not necessarily, but along those lines. It's the vibe I'm getting here. Okay, let's get into your cards. Month one. Oh, and as I'm talking about the cards, I just label them 1 through 12, and that's just for my own sanity when I'm talking about each of the cards. Your first card, card 1 for you, is going to be March 2025. So that's 4, 5, and 6. And then we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then on the back of the deck, for an extra message or theme for you for this year, we have the Death card. So, one of the things I do when I'm looking at a full spread like this is look at how many major arcana cards we have. You're starting right off the bat with the back of the deck card, which is a major arcana card. And then we have the Moon, the Empress. So only 3. This isn't going to be necessarily a life-shaking year or a year where you're focused on changing things. This is going to be smaller things, day-to-day stuff where you make adjustments or changes as things come up. Overall, by the time you get to the end of the year, it's going to feel like there's been a lot of change and that there's been transformation, at least in one specific area of your life. And that's coming from this Death card on the back of the deck for that extra message or theme for you. This is about transformation. This is the end of one phase or one way of life and the beginning of something new. So if you were to, let's just take relationships. If you were to move in with someone, you're not living with them here, but by the end of the year, you are moved in with them. That would be a transition from living on your own without a partner to now dealing with and learning this partnership and how to live together. Alternatively, it could be living together with a partner and maybe have always lived with someone to by the end of the year, you are out on your own, very independent and experiencing life in that way. Could have to do with career too, or maybe even just, well, it could be finances also. Maybe you don't save and you don't plan ahead for things, and maybe by the end of the year you are doing that, or vice versa. Maybe by the end of the year, after being so planful and trying to control things a little bit, maybe by the end of the year you realize that you need to live in the moment, that suits you better, that works better for you. Let's see as we go through each of the months. Oops. Got cards flying everywhere. All right. So here in month 1, we have the 7 of Wands. Wands are a fire element. So boldness, action, some risk taking here. The 7 of Wands is kind of about, well, it is about standing your ground. It is about defending your space. So there's going to be a lot of people vying for your attention, trying to get you to do the things that they want you to do. And it's going to be fast and furious kind of stuff. Like just 5 minutes here, just 5 minutes here. But it's never just 5 minutes. It's never just 5 minutes. So this is you needing to stand your ground, set up some really strong boundaries to say, I need to get my stuff straightened out first before I help you with yours. I need to focus on me. I need to focus on my goals right now. I can help you later. I cannot help you right now. You need to let me have my space and my time. So it's putting that kind of energy out there, setting up those boundaries or those parameters for interacting with you. Or maybe you need to give them some firm guidelines around that. Look, on Fridays between 5 and 8 p.m., let's talk and see what you have going on, and maybe I can help you there. But I'm not going to just take it over. I'm not going to add anything on. I'm working with what I got right now. That's the vibe I have here for you for month 1, which again is March 2025. And then in month 2, we have the 9 of Wands, still in that fire energy, but you're nearly to the end of some grind, of something that you've been working on, that you've been passionate about, but it has been exhausting. You may be feeling tired, bruised, just wondering when is it going to finally get there. You can see the goal now. You can see it. It's within reach. It's right there. You just have to keep going. And the 9 of Wands is telling you, you have what it takes. Stay on track. Keep pushing. We're getting you some Mars energy to help push you through this. That fiery energy, that passion. So you can see it through to the end. So just know you got this and you're almost there. Keep pushing. And then we have the King of Cups here in month 3. The King of Cups, so cups are a water element, emotions, intuition. Kings are very masculine energy, authoritative leadership. Definitely somebody who may be an expert in their field or very, very good at what they do. Other people would look to them for direction. This is somebody you're probably going to be working with or in some way interacting, where you are seeking them out for advice, maybe on something that has had a big emotional impact on you, maybe to help you understand why it's triggering you and what it is you can do to, there's a word I want to use here, but it's not coming forward. What you can do to minimize that or to reduce your reaction to it. How can you retrain yourself when it comes to this particular thing that for you has always been a trigger that maybe gets you to backslide or impede your progress moving forward? So this could be somebody about relationships, or again, something from the past. But that's going to be the most important thing about this month for you. In month 4, we have the Page of Swords. Swords, that air element, that Gemini energy, and the Page, which is young energy, very fresh energy. This could be somebody around you. Maybe it is a Gemini or some other air sign. It could be Libra. It could be, what's my other air sign? Aquarius. I do feel more Gemini type energy here, but that might not be it. But this is somebody, again, young, fresh. They have ideals. Their dreams have not been crushed. They are very optimistic. They're a bit of a dreamer, and they're making all these plans for the future. So many plans, so many plans they have about what life is going to be like for them. So this is them just starting out their adult life, if you will. They have no idea what they're going to face yet. They haven't even done much research on things. They don't know how much rent is. They don't know how much they might be getting paid. Hopefully they have their first job here. Or maybe that's what they're looking for. And they're finding that you have to start at the bottom sometimes. You can't just start in the middle or at the top without any experience. So they're maybe learning some tough things here in this month. And they're just looking for somebody there to support them, to talk to, especially to brainstorm with, and to help guide them, help direct them, maybe what they need to do, how to fill out an application, things like that. So this is a younger person or somebody who's starting out like that for the first time in some area, and you there to provide that guidance, to be their person that they can count on to help them through this, to help them talk it out. And then we have the Ace of Coins. This is your fresh start. You have some new venture going. You have some idea for a business, some idea for maybe a new career or shift in a job, some new idea about finances, or maybe about getting your own home for the first time, or making changes at home. Coins are the earth element. It's very practical and down to earth. It covers the things that we do on the day-to-day basis. So our work, our home life, errands even, what we do to bring in the money to help pay for all of these things, and managing those finances to maintain things. Can be a lot going into just the Ace of Coins, but you have some idea in particular that you're focusing on here in month 5, that you're researching, that you're digging into. This is something where you're not just going to let it float by as a momentary thing. Maybe it'll keep coming up at least 2 or 3 times until you finally say, okay, let me look into this. Is this really something I could do? Is this a viable thing for me? Check it out. You may be surprised at how easy it seems it might be. And I would say don't be surprised that it seems very easy for you, because if it keeps coming to you and keeps getting pushed your way, it's something you should really check out, because maybe it's meant for you. And then in month 6, we have the 5 of Swords. Now this could be a tougher month. 5s indicate a challenge from the universe, just because being human is just not enough. The 5 of Swords, so we're still in that air element, that communication. This could indicate an argument, some sort of miscommunication. This could indicate backstabbing a little bit. It could indicate something in social media where somebody's trying to spread something or say something that isn't true, and you're correcting them, and then you guys get into a kerfuffle about that. The advice of this card, the lesson that this card wants you to learn is, one, it's not winning at all costs is not always the best solution or the best thing. So if there's a particular argument where you're just determined to win it, try to check yourself there. Try to check yourself and say, okay, wait a minute. What does winning this argument get me? A sense of satisfaction that I think I'm right over the other person? Oh, what kind of satisfaction is that, though, really? There's no really winning there. And are you actually completely right? Or is that just the way you would do things to reach a certain conclusion versus the way the other person would do things to reach the same conclusion? You guys are headed in the same direction, but you're arguing about what route to take. Sometimes you need to compromise and find the middle ground. And sometimes you just have to agree to disagree and take separate cars. And that is okay. But try not to be so heated and in the moment and trying to win that argument at all costs that you endanger your connection with this other person, which I don't think is something you really want to do. So agree to disagree and move forward. And then down here in month 6, we have the moon, the ultimate water element card. Ruled by Cancer, or Cancer is ruled by the moon. So you may be interacting with a Cancer person, or maybe you have other Cancer placements. The moon itself is about things that the unknown coming to the surface. Things that were hidden now being exposed by the full light of the moon. Something you can't see under the full light of the sun. It's just not there. It's hidden amongst everything else that is going on under the light of the sun. When under the light of the moon, everything else falls to the background, and now these things pull forward. And the moons are about emotions. So when things are highly emotional, some things may be revealed. Some secret's going to spill out, or it's going to be really obvious under the right light, the right conversation, or the right words said in the heat of a moment. This could be information that changes your viewpoint of something that has happened, or your opinion of a person, how you think of another person. Maybe you've always blamed somebody for something that happened in the past, and here you find out they just took the blame. They didn't actually do it. And now you may want to find out more information. This could also be you discovering new depths to yourself, and how maybe your intuition, maybe this is the first time you're really recognizing that there is something here when it comes to your intuition, that you really can read the undercurrents and influence the emotions of a room, of the people around you. It could change how you react or how you act around certain people. You may even experiment a little bit to see if what you're thinking, what you're feeling is really true. And maybe you're also learning to really trust those little nudges, how you're feeling about things, what your heart is telling you over what your mind sees, but your heart knows. It's going to be a lot of big aha, or what and why going on here in month 7. In month 8, we have the Two of Swords. This is a point where there's a decision to make. You don't want to make this decision. You don't know which way you want to go. Both options make sense. One really isn't any better than the other. They get you to the same place kind of vibe. Or you don't want to see the truth in a situation. So you're hiding that from your eyes. You're blindfolding yourself. So you don't have to make the choice. So you don't have to see what's going on. You need to be honest with yourself. And if you don't want to see what's going on, you need to really, really tap into that intuition and how you feel about it. And just make that decision. The one that feels right to you is the right one. Whether it makes logical sense to anybody else or not, it needs to feel right for you. That's how you know you're headed on the right path. It just flows. And then in month 9, we have the Empress. I love the Empress. She is the mother of the tarot deck. She is the creator, the ultimate creator. Very nurturing energy, but also somebody who is very powerful, but doesn't lord it over you. She influences through her actions and what she does. She doesn't automatically expect everybody to follow her, but she hopes that she can influence them in such a way by doing what she does that they can follow and they can succeed, and then they can lead others. This feels a little bit like it has something to do with work, and maybe some sort of leadership opportunity that may be available to you at work. Maybe you have a creative or unique way of doing something and it just works really, really well and it's gotten notice. And maybe now they want you to kind of mentor others, have them sit with you while you do what you do so that they can learn. And perhaps what you're telling these people, say maybe you agree to that, but as you're teaching them, you're like, this is what works for me. Don't be afraid to tweak this into something that works for you because you want you to excel. I want you to excel. And that does not mean that following my plan step by step is the right plan for you. So you're encouraging creativity and success in others by helping to teach them how to find their own path or their own unique way or spin on things that will lead them to greater success. You may find yourself, don't be surprised, being like a motivational speaker type vibe is what I'm getting here ultimately. So keep that in mind. That's something you really may enjoy, especially with that Gemini rising there. I like that. And then in month 10, we have this 10 of Swords, which looks rather tragic. It can be rather tragic. It can be rather eye-opening too. 10s in general are the end of a cycle. You have reached a conclusion. It is done. It is over. And now you can move on to the next thing. You're setting yourself free, essentially, here with the 10 of Swords, to speak your mind going forward. Maybe you have always stifled yourself in the past, your opinions in the past. You haven't wanted to speak up for fear of retribution. Or maybe you have had retribution in the past for saying what you think, for giving your opinion out there. But now you know you're recognized and respected for what it is you have to say and the way that you want to do things. It's time to cut that connection. The people who always tell you, well, that's stupid, well, that doesn't even make sense, why would you even do that? It's time to cut off the haters and the doubters, because they're not there to support you. They're there to uplift themselves by bringing you down, by dimming your light so their light looks brighter. And I think this is the month you really recognize that, especially after month 9 here. And you're like, okay, you know what? I don't think I need to meet with you going forward because I don't think that this benefits me at all, and it has not helped me in my growth. What helps me in my growth is to follow where I feel the right way to go is, or follow how I feel about things rather than what you think about how I think about things or how I do things. I need to be true to me. So you're cutting off that so that you can be free to just follow your flow, essentially. And then we're down here with another ace, right under the previous ace. Another fresh new idea. This time, this is something you are passionate about. It may be something that has more to do with an active thing. It might be a little bit risky. It may or may not work, but you kind of want to try it out anyway. This could be a new hobby. It could be some sort of new volunteer type thing. Maybe you're getting into public speaking more and you want to join that one group that I can't remember the name of now that just went away from me, where they do speeches and things. Or maybe you're going to take some community classes on how to do better public speaking. That is the word I wanted, public speaking. But whatever it is for you, go ahead and check it out. Go ahead and take that first class. Maybe it is a complimentary class because it's the first one. See if it fits you or not. Or go to that hobby class at the local craft store to see if that's something you really do like. Maybe you remember it as something that your parent or grandparent or somebody did, or you've seen some work like that. You've always wanted to try it. Maybe it's pottery. You can get your hands in and feel into that clay. Let yourself play a little bit. Let yourself have some fun and try out some new things. You can do that. And then in month 12, don't overthink anything. Don't make any big decisions. You just kind of want to rest your brain here in month 12. Really focus less on any logic or practicality or planning. Go with how you feel. Take some extra naps. Give yourself permission to take naps, maybe. And again, I would not make any big decisions in this month or sign any contracts or things like that in this month. You just want to give things a break. Maybe, read some books, random books that don't necessarily have any purpose other than enjoyment. And let yourself get out of your brain a little. overthinking things, overanalyzing things, and let your brain and yourself play and get into more of a flow state rather than a focused state. You want to be flowy. You want to be taking things as they come and not trying to plan ahead. That feels right. And maybe that's what the biggest change for you will be here by the end of the year, is knowing you don't always have to plan ahead. You can just take things as they come and trust how you feel about those things when you're making your decisions about them. And that Pisces Sun, Gemini Rising is what I have for you for your year ahead. Please hit that like button. Please share this with others. Please comment below to let me know if this resonated with you or not. And please subscribe to help me grow my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you later.